Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday night's edition of Not Another Rangers podcast. Now, what is it, 23rd of January? It's the second last edition before a few more editions before the transfer window closes in 10 days, I think, in the 2nd of February. We are on the... I think it's the 2nd, isn't it? It's the 2nd, I'm sure it is, which is
second,
a Monday.
Yeah.
Not the Monday, I think it's Monday. So I'm your host, Gary. Welcome to tonight's show. We will talk a little bit about our first win in Europa League this season. We are rattling up the coefficient points again, having beat Ludogorets 1-0 last night. And we'll look ahead to a big weekend in Scottish football, whereby we're at home to Dundee, and Rangers have come out today and said, come on, feel the noise, isn't it? Get the fans back on side, get one club, all that sort of stuff, a wee marketing campaign. And obviously there's a big game with the other two teams in contention for the league title. So we'll talk about that, talk about Ludogorets, and we'll talk about some transfers in and out. And I think Scott said before we come on the podcast tonight, the main topic of conversation with Kieran Towell's 3 years at Ibrox. Can you remember his best goal? Can you remember his best moment? Can you remember what anything he'd done in that whole 3 years other than being injured? So that'll be some of the highlights we'll talk about. So get your comments in your favourite Kieran Dowell moment over his 3-year Rangers career. So lots to discuss. So how are we this evening, Ricky?
Good, mate. Very good. Looking forward to speaking about Kieran Dowell. It's why we started this podcast in the first place, to speak about the Rangers legends. So this is going to be a fun hour.
As you know, so for those who don't know yet, I'm sure you all do in the comments, Kieran Dowell is supposedly, don't think he's actually signed the sealed yet, on his way.
Hull City put it on their page. He signed with his shirt on and stuff. Aye.
So he signed on loan for Hull City, and his contract ends in the summer, so he won't never be back again. A signing, Scott, that was one of a number of signings the last couple of years. It was an English Championship player, good technical ability, but just never quite ever looked like he was going to cut it at Ibrox.
I just feel Gary, he had something about him, didn't he? We knew that he looked decent at times, very seldom at times, but I just feel Scottish football just wasn't for him. We can see it about a lot of players. I know it's kind of cliche, but I didn't mind him to a point, but I just didn't think he was a fine fit for us. I thought, to be honest with you, like William just said, he probably never played his correct position the whole time he was here. He didn't get a consistent run of games either. And he was always kind of the scapegoat, wasn't he, with a lot of people, myself included. So I wish him all the best at Hull City. I hope he does really well there. And when he joins permanently in the summer, by all accounts, then good on him. So all I can do is wish him all the best.
Yeah. And do you know what? Any Rangers players that leaves, you always just be hoping to do well wherever they go. Good luck to them. You know, they spent their time at the club, and some will live longer in the memory than others. Some will soon drop from the memory. And Kieran Dowell, unfortunately, is one of those ones that you will not look back on and really remember much about him. To be honest, he was there. He wore the shirt, scored a couple of goals, and more often than not was injured. And unfortunately for him, and he goes with our good wishes. So I never actually asked you, Scott, how are you? I've seen some people in the comments. You always said your ECG one of the week. Are you doing well?
Aye, Gary, aye. Obviously, I spoke to you last night. Aye, I've not heard back in. Everything's...
Don't peek behind the cameras. We're not meant to tell people that. This is more. I was just saying, I've never seen you.
I've not heard anything back from the hospital, so by all accounts, everything's fine, because they said they'd only get in contact with me if they could find something. So, like Scott said, they couldn't find the heart. Maybe they couldn't, but listen, all you can do is keep going, can't you? You can't really... It's tough at times mentally, but not to think about it, but all we can do is keep going.
That's what you had me thinking about. Is it Wicked for Good's out now? What's is it the Scarecrow or the Tin Man or the Cowardly Lion? Is it the lion that doesn't have a heart? Is that the one? Is that
I think so. I'm sure. I loved that film when I was a kid.
No Wicked, Gary. Come on, that's some nonsense.
Wicked's nonsense, man. Woke nonsense.
I didn't know what to say, but Ricky's nailed it.
You've heard it here first, people. Wicked is woke nonsense. Do not go and watch it. Stick to watching the Rangers pod. So anyway, we will look back on last night's game. I think we'll do that. I mean, it was a cold night last night when 37,000 people, me and Scott included, turned up at Ibrox. Scott, how cold was it the game first before we actually talk about the game itself?
Well, my sisters were saying it was a lot windier up where you were. I was in the front. I didn't really see that. It wasn't even so much windy. It was just, my kind of row was a bit empty, so it was freezing. I didn't have any socks on last night either, because I don't really wear socks. I didn't have any on last night, and I couldn't feel my toes. But the rest of it was fine. But my feet were absolutely freezing.
No, it was really cold up. So obviously I sat up Make it sound weird. That's up there with your two sisters at the back. There, so it was cold up there. The wind was blowing. It's funny to know there was a guy sits in front of us, and maybe not one of these teenage boys. He stood up at one point when Rangers scored. I think Diamandi scored, and he's got shorts on. You're thinking, what the hell? What are you doing?
Mental.
-2 and wind chill, stuff, and it's absolutely freezing. And he's got shorts on, living life. But no, it was cold. It was rainy. It was a little bit. The pitch looked pretty bad condition. But the game itself, Ricky, you're watching it from the comfort of your own home. It was a strange game if you were there. Didn't it felt quite very flat? But I don't know what it like on the TV.
It was what you would expect. I think there's been quite a big overreaction. I don't know if you guys have seen any social media today, but Moore's getting it in the neck, Gassama's getting it in the neck. I think we've reached that point where we need Asgard's flavour of the month, so we need a scapegoat. So they two are, it's when 1-360, they two are getting, they've got the lasso around their necks. Come here, boy, you're getting it. This team is what it is, Gary. I actually think it proves how much miracles Danny Rowe has actually worked. I watched the semi-final video came up against Leipzig on my phone the other day. It came up for some reason. I don't know if it was anniversary or something like that. I don't know, but it was when you see that lineup compared to this lineup, that team was much better than the team we've got just now. So Rowe's worked absolute miracles to get what he's got out of this team to get us to this point. Our European campaign's been an absolute disaster, Gary. Let's be honest, because we've been brilliant in Europe for the last few seasons. We need to get back to that. But last night was just about getting that first victory on the board. We've got 3 new players to add to the starting 11. Okay, there'll be maybe 2 will start at the weekend, maybe. But what we are adding that quality, and Rose sees the quality that he needs to add to this team. So I don't know why fans are suddenly expecting us to start playing like the Harlem Globetrotters on a Thursday night. We got the victory. It was a 1-0 victory. It doesn't mean anything. I still think that we're going to need Ajax to beat Olympiacos next week, mate. So it is what it is. 1-0 victory. At least we got a victory. And it'll be good for the team, and it'll be good for Rowe. It's more for confidence, I would say, at this point of the season to take into Sunday's match. You can see with the lineup that Rowe wanted that first victory in Europe, and he got it, mate. So that was the important thing. Keep the momentum going. 7 wins in a row now, and then Sunday's the most important game, as it always was now.
No, definitely, and Big Phil says I totally agree with him there. It was a solid performance, but not decisive enough in front of goal. Scott, do you know what, I suppose for me, you were the same. Sitting in the game, it was a strange kind of atmosphere, and it was also a strange game in the sense that Ludogorets looked very poor. I mean, a very poor team. We didn't really play great, but still were very comfortable throughout the game. Do you know, I don't know what your take on it. If we had played that final ball right, made that right pass, or didn't shoot when we should have shot, or passed when we should have passed, it would have been even more comfortable, and probably 2-3 goal cushion would have been deserved.
Yeah, Gary, I mean, we had enough chances, didn't we? I thought the first half, he said himself, didn't really, to change the kind of way we played in the second half, the press-wise. I thought the first half, they had a wee bit more of the ball. They were passing it out for the back quite comfortably, I thought, Ludogorets, but I thought in the second half, they didn't do as much. But no, we created enough chances to score more than what we scored, and it's just either the final pass lets us down, or the person that's getting the ball's too indecisive. They don't know whether they shoot, do they pass, and then by that time they're closed down, or they just take the wrong option. But it's frustrating because we're keeping the clean sheets, which is fundamentally halfway to getting a success, because you're not conceding. But it's not always going to be the case in certain games, so we're going to have to score more than 1 goal at times, and that's why we get frustrated, because we are creating stuff. Mike Moore, I thought last night his work rate was superb. He lost the ball a few times and he was trying to get it back, and he was getting it back, but then his decision making was poor. Either his pass or the way he was trying to go around somebody, he was going down blind alleys, and then he had a chance, he was through goal, just put your laces through it, hit it low and hard, and he tries to dink it and it just chips into the keeper's hands. It was just stuff like that. It gets you annoyed, because you can see there's talent there, but you also we need another striker, Gary. I feel Jamaica does so much good work, and the boy's going to improve. But he's never going to be I don't think he's ever going to be a 20 goal a season man. You can hang your hat on, because his overall game's very good. but he's not putting up. Majovski's will be hit and miss. You need to create chances, but when he comes on, he drifts further back and back and back. And then we break in transition, and he's behind the play because he's not getting a lot of pace. And you're thinking, just stay up there. And it's something that has to happen. Going up, we have to bring in somebody else forward line because Daniel obviously are trying to get rid of. So I think we're lacking one more striker, but we're constantly creating chances, and that's all you can ask for. Yeah. I will say right enough. I thought before you go into yourself or Ricky, thought Finlay Curtis was superb again when he came on, and I know Will said he wants to give him game time and stuff like that. And I'll tell you now, at one time I would keep Finlay Curtis in the pitch before Gassama. Gassama's very frustrating. He's letting himself down because he's very lazy when he loses the ball. He goes down again too easy for me, and that sometimes doesn't get decisions. But his decision making is not great. It's worse than Mikey Mills.
Aye, we'll come back to some of that, brother, as we go on. I mean, how long's that? 10 minutes in? We gave the Finlay Curtis fan club. Well, that's longer than normal, Scott. Well done. I suppose we'll pick up some of the players as we go through the games. You know, in terms of the team lineup, Ricky, it was a pretty strong team, as you said. You know, what we had is the only real change I would probably see would be Tav, really, in it. The only other one that would probably play last night, because the rest of the bench, there wasn't a lot else there. Kept Aarons in the team, and other than that, it was pretty much as strong as it could go.
Yeah, no, when you seen the lineup, mate, you could tell that Rowe wanted to win the match. And when you probably looked at it on paper, you were probably worried more about the defence than you were about us going forward. You were probably looking at the starting lineup before the game going, oh no, Jigger's back in, Aarons. I mean, I see Aarons was getting a bit of stick as well, but Aarons is what he is. He's no Tavernier. He's never going to be Tavernier of old. He's a steady right back that is sort of like you say about Magoma on the left. He's there, but he's no involved as other fullbacks have been in the past. And when you see Jigga in the team, you're thinking, oh my God. But luckily we've got Amoruso, Fernandez to see Big Jigga and talk him through the game. The big man's excellent again, almost man of the match. And you were worried about the defence when you seen that lineup, but we managed to keep us clean sheet. And again, it's going forward where we're so disjointed. They're actually the champions from Bulgaria. We didn't do our homework before the pod on Monday. Remember, we were saying, "Oh, who's this team? Where are they from?" I thought,
what country do we have them in? What country do we have them from? I had no idea.
Hungary, I think I had them from, Mike. I don't even think we're a guess. I think we were tired by that point, but they've been the Bulgarian champions for the last 10 years. So anyway, no, you seen the lineup, mate, and the lineup was strong, so you could tell, and that was probably what we expected. I don't know if Rowe is I don't know if he's keeping an eye on the coefficient thing, and if he's actually worried about that, or if he just, like he said in the press conference, he just wanted to get that first win, more for the group to keep the confidence going, mate. Because to be honest with you, any other season, this group would have been a gimme for Rangers in Europe on a Thursday night. I think the only team so far we've played that you would expect to beat us would have been Roma. But every other team in this group, normally, we would be top. We'd be in the top 8. I would be close to the top 8 in a normal season. But just that Bruges game, I think, they gave us an absolute battering and a runaround. That's where you seen the quality was up here. And the confidence of the team was just absolutely zapped after that, Gary. So it was good to get the win. The lineup was strong. We got the points. We got the win, which was good for going into next season. So Roll can see that even in Europe, because I want us... it's great domestically. I want to win the league. We all want to win the league. We want to be the dominant team in Scotland. But I want us to be good in Europe. In the Europa, if we are in the Europa League, I think we should always be competitive in that competition. And this team's good. We are good, a big enough club and a good enough club to be always getting out the group stage at a minimum. So hopefully we get back to that if we don't get in the Champions League next season, mate.
Yeah. In terms of Aarons, just maybe you reminded me of something there. So Aarons, I don't know if you've seen him put on the TV, but it's a cracking bit, great bit of skill, flicks the ball over the guy's head in the halfway line. I think brilliant bit of skill, plays with it. And then the ball, as soon as the ball comes down, he turns around and goes back the way again, turns back and passes back the way. I think that just kind of sums up where you're really at. You know, that's the problem. Great bit of skill, then turn back because you don't know how to go forward. I think that's the big issue. He did play all right. I think, as you say, he's never going to be the marauding fullback, but I do want to. I'm not going to pick on the instance of the game as such. I'm going to pick on maybe certain players, and I suppose the first half hour, Scott, was we were pretty much in control. They had that one chance where it was the back heel that Butler makes a fantastic save, and then we get the goal through Diamande. There's two bits I want to pick up on that. Probably Asgard is actually a really good assist. It's a lovely touch to Diamande. But also Diamande, I thought yesterday, and ever since that second half of the Celtic game, he's probably been Rangers' best player. He's actually been playing really, really well, looking like the Diamande that we hope to get and only ever get fleeting glimpses of.
Yeah, I thought last night him and Raskin played really well, and I thought Asgard was decent as well last night. I thought he was in and out of the game, but his touch for the goal was superb. He could try to take a shot, try to lay it back, but he knew where Deal was, and he just put it off to him, and it was a good finish, I have to say. But he deserved his goal last night, because I thought he was getting in good positions last night. He wasn't just running about for the sake of it. He was making the runs, timing the runs, and he was looking up, and I thought his overall game has improved since the Celtic game, Gary, I have to say. And you probably, if you ask him, he probably would have said that himself as well, because he wasn't playing well. Neither was Raskin, but I think the two of them have improved since then, and Asgard as well. I thought the three of them last night were decent. It's just further forward, isn't it? But we need more goals from the three of them, to be honest with you, because we've not got somebody we can put our hat on to score goals up top. So the three of them, hopefully, the other boys that are coming in the weekend can maybe chip in with some goals, because we need to get them for different areas if we can, and just get them for up top. But Diamande played well last night.
Yeah. I'll start with you and Diamande, Ricky, because he's much maligned at times, and I think Scott said a few weeks ago that he's much maligned because we all actually think he's got ability. And you watch him, you think he's got something, and then for so many games he kind of hides in plain sight, and you never see anything of him, and he's dead quiet. But when he's making those attacking runs and driving forward and kind of and less pirouetting and more actually running with the ball and driving forward, he's a far more effective player.
It's not hard, Gary. Play good, and the Rangers fans will praise you and say that you're being good. You're putting in the effort. We're seeing the good performances. Play pish, and you'll get told that you're playing pish. It's in that, for the 3 years that he's been here, he's probably been pretty pish for most of the time. I mean, he's always, if you take away before the Celtic game and this purple patch of form, this is probably the best form he's showed since he's been at the club consistently, because he's been good in the past in Europe. You've seen, wow, this is the player that we thought we were getting against Celtic. He's always good against Celtic. I don't know what it is, because the pace of that game and the speed of that game, you think he would struggle, but it's the opposite. It's when you come to play your Dundee Uniteds and your Kilmarnocks and stuff like that he sort of his levels went from here down to here. But since the Celtic game, something's clicked in his head, and he's been absolutely fantastic. And the midfield part of our team, I see people clamouring for Moore. And to be honest with you, before last night, I was probably one of these people that was put Moore in the 10, but I actually think the midfield part of our team is the part that's working the best with the defence just now. I think the midfield three of Diamande, Raskin and Asgard. Asgard's probably the same as Diamande. They two are probably the players that are actually contributing every game with assists and goals and look the best. And Raskin's playing really well as well. So that part of the engine of your team is purring. So don't change that. I think the new guy will have to wait to get a start, and that's fair enough, because that part of the team is good. But like Kerr says, it's further forward that is still disjointed. Gassama, I think with Gassama and Moore, I think you need to give them a bit of time, like dovetailing each other. One of them's coming out of the team, and I think Roll has to speak to both of them and say to both of them, look guys, we need a lot more from you, and we need a lot more for you. So what's going to happen now is one of you is going to be playing, and whoever shows me the best form is going to play on the left, because Olsen's going to play on the right. And I tell you what, Gary, we need him to like really hit the ground running. I know it's going to take a bit of time and stuff like that, but I hope his fitness is at a good level, so that when he comes in on Sunday against Dundee at Ibrox, it's a perfect game for him. And I hope we can see that extra quality that we'll hope that he's going to add to the front three, because that should be on paper the easiest part of the team to fix, Gary, because everything else is working brilliant. The defence is keeping clean sheets. The midfield is good. Asgard is scoring goals and involved now. So we just need to get that front three clicking and start creating chances and taking these chances. And if we can do that, then we've got the opportunity to have a great season, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. One of the things Scott notes, and it's the second half. I'm moving to the second half because I don't want to cover all the game in every bit of detail. Second half, we had numerous chances to play the right ball and finish the game. But one of the things I did notice, actually, and you talk a lot about Raskin, I thought he was really good in the second half. But I kept noticing actually him and Diamande and just how they linked up well together. They were coming very close to each other, picking up the ball, even in tight spaces. And actually, you could see the relationship between them. I probably not noticed that as much this season, but that was, I think, last night, just able to watch it closely, you could see the two of them really effective together.
I think it's always been there, Gary. The two of them have been playing together for a while, but I don't know if it's maybe the new signing, a new boy coming in, thinking we need to up our game here because one of them may be left out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you spent a lot of money on this kid coming in, and you think you're not coming in to sit on the bench, is he? So two of them are thinking themselves, we need to start playing consistently well, but they've always played all together at times. It's just been more consistent together. But you know yourself, competition for places makes everybody no panic, but it gives them a wee kick out of the bum to say, I can't just dally through games. I need to up my game and give the same every game. I just can't give 90% this game and 100% in this game. I need to show every game because that's what we want, competition for places. But I thought the two of them played well last night, Gary, but they have to do that against Dundee. We can't, it's all right doing it one game and not doing it next game.
They have been, I suppose it's confidence as well. We've talked a lot about this all the time, and you could see earlier on in the season, Diamande, he looked kind of bereft of confidence. Raskin was obviously having his issues with Russell Martin and so forth, so they weren't in a good place. But you can see as they get more confident, they're demanding the ball and looking for it from each other.
That's one thing. Mikey Moore's young, right? He's young for a football player, as in at this level, and he's going to have a lot of mistakes, and he does get slated and stuff like that. But that's one thing I like about him. The kid's full of confidence. He's not scared to make a mistake. He's not scared to try and take a risk. Whereas I feel like Gassama, it's opposite. If he does something that doesn't work, don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I feel his head maybe drop a bit, or he maybe doesn't want to try it again. Whereas Mikey Moore's like, give me the ball back, I'll go and try it again. If I get beat, I get beat, but he'll chase and get the ball back. So I know, like you were saying, you bring one in, put the other one. To me, Mikey Moore start before Gassama at this point in time because he offers you far more. Even if it doesn't come off for him, it's his work rate in the park. He's everywhere trying to get the ball back if he loses it. And Gassama doesn't show that for me. I know he can be a different type of player, but he doesn't show that work rate or attitude.
I'm going to disagree with you, Scott. Just not. I think I said with our message last night. I think Gassama has all the attributes in terms of skill and ability to really be someone. What it bothers you is his decision making and choices when he does it. His actual natural ability to get by players, I think, is excellent when you watch it at times. He just then doesn't do the next part, which is a bit you need to get better at. Whereas Mikey Moore's probably less skillful, maybe as such, but probably more composed, and maybe that's the difference that you can see between the two of them. I think that we need to remember, maybe I've seen a few comments saying about a decent front line. What's Chimiti 21, Gassama's 22, maybe Moore's 19. Do you know, you're playing with a front three that is an average age of 20. It is going to be inconsistent. It is going to struggle at times, Ricky.
Yeah, no, I saw an excellent. I don't know if you saw the thing this week with Scott Arfield with the Halliday brothers. They were doing their academy. They were doing an interview with Scott Arfield, and he was speaking about his time at Rangers, and he was speaking about the pressure and stuff like that. And he said to Andy Halliday, I came to Rangers at the perfect time. He says, I would never have been able to play for Rangers, because they were actually speaking about the players just now. I don't know when the interview was done. I think it was maybe still at a point where our forum was a little bit sketchy because they were speaking about...
interview was that long ago. Halliday said the nothing goal. Was it done that long ago?
Aye, but they were speaking, Kerr, about the players in the team just now, about that inexperience, but the young players, about how difficult you don't understand. It's a pleasure, the pressure and everything's a pleasure, but you don't understand how difficult it is, and like fans just take for granted. Like Shermiti, we were speaking about him before we came on air. Now he's no good enough, like goal scoring wise, to be the Rangers striker just now, but his other attributes are unbelievable. He links the play really well. He's involved in the match. But the problem is, we need our goal scorer. You need that Dessers touch to be banging in the goals to justify you being a Rangers number 9. Now, these guys are young, and hopefully that does come with Shermiti, but we need someone else to take that load from him, so that if he's not scoring goals, someone else, because Miovski's a certain type of striker. So, but I think Rowe will get there. But that was interesting with the pressure. And Andy Halliday had a terrible week with open goal. The nonsense they were speaking with they two people on open goal, man. That Scottish 11 was the worst bit of content I've seen. And this week there's been a lot of bad content on the internet, mate, and that was as bad as it gets.
Oh, see, as James Forrest beat him, Brian Laudrup.
I know,
really?
mate. on.
Honestly, I've never seen it.
I don't
No,
know. I don't know why Halliday puts himself through it with it to that guy that's permanently got the chicken pox. Slaney, is that his name? And then the other nugget with a moustache that's like the Barra's Fashion Week. It's what a horrendous week they had with that. But that interview with Arfield, go and watch it because it's absolutely excellent. Speaking about his time at Rangers and speaking about the pressure and what it's like being a young kid and everything. And he says he would never have been able to handle it. But it's easy to say that in hindsight and stuff like that. Sometimes you just have to handle it. But it's interesting looking at the players just now. But I think the club knew that, and we were speaking about this experience. But have we brought in that much experience in the window? We've brought in players that are, so that'll be interesting to see, mate.
We'll come on to that in a wee moment in terms of signs. I suppose just to finish off the game then, Scott, I mean, it was one of those times, as you say, with a number of chances. Probably the prime example to me was the one that Jamaica plays a beautiful pass into Diamande. He should shoot, pass it to Miofsky, he should shoot. He passes it to Raskin, I think, and Raskin tries to back heel to something. You think, what's going on here? Do you know, just and there was times like that they should have shot, whereas other times you say Curtis comes in as a really good shot at goal. Raskin is running through, shoots when he should pass to Gassama. Do you know, there was just so many moments that we just could have killed the game off. And as always, the way they then had got a couple of nervy moments at the end of the game and could, like Ragadan a couple of months ago, scraped a draw to it.
It's just decision making at the end of the day, isn't it? And maybe if a player's missed a few chances earlier on, they don't fancy taking another shot. I'm missing again, so they're trying to pass. But I thought when they passed it to Moskowitz, I thought he's going to shoot here. He's a striker, you think that's the thing you want to do the most. But no, he made the pass and he didn't have to make the pass.
No.
He should just try the shot. If he misses, it misses. If it hit the goalie saves it, you don't know where the rebound's going. So just have a dig. I appreciate folk just having a dig. That's how I appreciate the Curtis coming on. First thing he done was head up, bang.
That's right.
Save. It's a good tight for the keeper, right enough, but he went for it. None of this, I'll pass it sideways or backways. Just have a shot. You never know. Matt Gately always said, you don't buy a raffle ticket, you don't win a prize, so just shoot. I mean,
at times the keeper makes a mistake and so forth. The last one, and stick with you, Scott, just Giga, when Ricky mentioned Giga earlier on, I actually thought Giga had a really good game last night. Game is due. I thought that's the best I've seen him play in months. And again, his confidence was shot after was it the Bruges game? The game he had a nightmare and he took months to looked really all over the place. I thought he played well last night, looked confident, looked very quick. One or two times getting back. Fernandez.
Well, Gary, myself, I thought Fernandez looked good. I thought my whole man, I thought Aaron's done really well defensively. It's a forward problem with me, but I thought defensively he played really well. He ran across the back to cover as well when centre halves out of position. But I thought Giga was superb last night. His confidence is back like it was when he first came in. He took a dip because of the goals we were conceding. He was a man that was targeted, wasn't he, at the time? But I thought last night. But then again, Gary, he's having to fight for his place because he knows Souttar's fit. And he knows Fernandez, since he's been away, has stole a space in the team. So he's like, I need to fight here. And which is good to see because he's on loan. He could just say, I'll just see it out. I'll just sit on the bench. Kind of get back to Wolves at the end of the season anyway. But no, he's playing performances like that and trying to fight for his place back in the side. So it's good to see. And he did play really well last night. A couple of good tackles, chasing folk down and winning the ball and stuff. So that's what I like to see.
No, it was excellent. Do you know, you wonder, Ricky, then.
Also, Gary Fernandez, man. I mean, I'm not like I was joking at Monday and stuff like that, but we're young guy came into the team, and he's a young guy that's came into the team, and he's playing 2 games a week, and clean sheet, man. We're taking it for granted. I think Fernandez, for the we were all worried about him because we all took. Peterborough fans said he was an absolute bomb scare and he was going to be a nightmare. And with social media nowadays, that puts you on the back foot automatically. But let's get real here. The guy's playing 2 games a week. It's always a difficult position to fill that left centre back. And I think the guy's been outstanding since he's came into the team. And he's going to make mistakes. He's no perfect. He's no the finished article. You're going to get like games where the FIFA buttons are stuck and he hits the wrong button and he's back to front in Europe and stuff. But as long as he learns from it and he improves, I think what this kid is doing for the money we've paid, I think you've got to give good old Farewell credit with this one because I think he's been outstanding and I think he's a sort of player. He loves playing for Rangers as well. He speaks about it. It's like you see him in the press conference. He loves the pressure and the fans are giving him confidence. He's become like a cult hero with the fans and everything. And long may that continue, mate, because for me, he's been fantastic.
No, I would agree. I think you can see that he's developing over the last couple of months and getting better. Still making mistakes. I think there was one time last night he ran out of position to chase a ball, which let the guy in the back. So that was just a positional error, nothing major, but it's that level. But at the same time, there's another one he pirouetted by a guy and then ran out the park. And I also played a cracking ball to Chermia. Was it Chermia, the one that one I was talking about? We should probably have shot about 6 times. So there was lots of good things, and you can see he's getting better as a player. And is he the finished article? Obviously not. He's only came from non-league a couple of years ago, and but you can see, I suppose, as you say, why through the scouting, through Peterborough and through Thelwell, if you say that, through clenched teeth, there's attributes there. And yes. I think that's what I suppose. It'd be interesting, actually, as an aside, if we get to the end of the season and the majority of these players that they signed have actually turned out to be good, as they've all developed, like they thought they were going to. Maybe unlikely. So transfer news. So I think that covers the game. Sorry, finish Europe. We have 4 points. We can't qualify. We've got a game against Porto next week away. Coefficient points are still extremely crucial, so it's hard to understand what that means. I watched a pod with Adam Thornton during the week, and Olympiacos are a challenge. If Olympiacos win against Ajax, as Ricky said, that we need a draw at least against Porto to stay above them, I think, is the answer. And the other big challenge is Shakhtar Donetsk, who's playing against Dundee in the Conference League, and if they win a number of games, they can still get it. So we need to try and get a positive result against Porto next week. Hopefully they're already in the top, I think they're 9th maybe, so they still need something as well. But try and get something there and keep that rolling, because I'd hate to win the league and then miss out in the Champions League proper just because of a couple of bad results this season after such a good European record the last 5 years. So next week's games, while not important in terms of this year's qualification, still remains important in terms of us next year and future years, probably. But on to transfers. So there's lots of rumours going about, but I think it seems to be that very few of them are true, Ricky. There's obviously the boy, I can't remember his name now, the guy from
Dow.
There's him, there's a guy from Sheffield Wednesday, Valerie.
The Tunisian, Valerie, the right back, yeah.
And I think there was some other ones linked to the boys with that guy, the other midfielder. What's his name again? The same central midfielder. Nah. So there's all these players being linked, but there doesn't seem to be much movement on them. And some of the noises come out saying, as you said, we're looking for more experienced players. They're players they're interested in, but not necessarily players they want right now.
I think the clubs need to be a bit more realistic. I heard Sunderland are wanting $3 million for Neil, and he's out of contract in the summer. I don't think Rangers. I mean, I know he's a good player. Kerr says he's a good player and stuff, and I believe him. But it's, I think that's a lot of money to pay for a guy you can get for free in 6 months' time. So we will see. I think we will be busy, Gary. I think now. I think probably Dillwell's out the door, and there's rumours that they're struggling to get Rothwell out the door because a lot of teams want to take him on a straight loan rather than a loan to buy, and Rangers want it to be a loan to buy, which I'm surprised about because I thought Rothwell would have been the easiest player to get out of the door. I thought there was a really interesting conversation with Wildrop and Kavanagh. I don't know if you saw that one as well. Yeah. Well, Wildrop, Kavanagh spoke to Wildrop, and Wildrop said to Kavanagh, "Why have you stopped signing players from Scandinavia? Like you've always had a great history with me, Lovenkrands, Big Eric Bo Anderson." And no, he was rhyming out all the names. Jonas Terran,
Alex Densas.
Yes. And it's actually interesting. After that conversation, we went and signed 2 players from Scandinavia. So Waldrop was all excited about Scott Wilson and all excited about the business we've been doing in that market. So there's definitely been a switch. I don't know if I'm every market, but I thought that was an interesting interview. But I think we will be busy. I think fans just need to, like, we've still got, I mean, Gary, you've still got, today's the 24th of January, so you've still got 7, 8, 9 days in the window to go. So I think this was always going to be the case, and it'll probably just be out of the blue. But you always get that last week scramble with all the teams. So I still expect us to bring in 2 more. If I'm looking at the names mentioned, I would probably like the guy for Sunderland, Neil. The right back, I would probably wait until the summer because I believe, unless it's like a deal that can be done now on the cheap with Sheffield Wednesday, and the striker, if we can get this striker from Leeds, I think that would be a good deal. Or if not him, another striker. Maybe you look at the guy from Motherwell's, always a good option, is always there. I think for $3 million, I think he'd be a decent. He's still young. He's got the touch of the fashion Sakawas about him. So there is some interesting nuggets to be done in the last week of the window, and I think it is going to be exciting because there's nothing worse when you get to the last 2 days and then Chris Jack puts out a text, Rangers are done for the, and it's like, oh, cheers, mate. I wanted to stay up until midnight and watch Jim White in a yellow tie because my wife is that excited. Not, but no, it's exciting when it goes to the last day and you think your club's still going to do business. So hopefully that's the case this year, mate.
Do you think, Scott, then, that, I mean, we will probably bring in another 1 or 2 players. I think it's probably almost certain, Scott, that we're going to do that. There's talk around, I think Danny Rowell himself talked about a midfielder potentially with Connor Barron being injured. He talked not specifically about a striker, but about an attacking threat. So somebody can play out that number of positions. Do you think it's probably more in line with something towards the end of the window when other jigsaw pieces across other clubs all start to move about and players go here, there, and everywhere, and free loan opportunities open up or big signings open up or different things like that, as opposed to any names that's been mentioned so far?
That's the way it kind of works, Gary, isn't it? If other teams get rid of players or get players in, then they're likely to let the players go maybe a clubs are interested in, as long as they can get some in before they let others go. It's just the way football works. It's all a jigsaw piece puzzle, like you says, and you have agents on the phone every day to Rangers saying this guy's available, this guy's interested, blah blah blah. And it's just seeing who fits into what Daniel wants. And obviously he's looking at guys for Sheffield Wednesday he's worked with, but he's not going to bring in anybody for Sheffield Wednesday does he think can improve Rangers, because that's a pointless exercise. So he's looking for guys who are better than what we've got, and we're all sitting here saying that shouldn't be hard, but he's got a lot of these players so far, so he's looking for guys who are going to improve what we've got. And listen, I've been on here saying the boy from Motherwell's he's a no-brainer for me. He's close by, he's not a lot of money, and sometimes answers staring you in the face.
Who's he played for, Scott, before? I've never really seen him this 6 months. I've not even seen that much of him.
Honestly, Gary, I tell you where he came from, but I've just seen what I've seen up here, and I like what I see. And every time I watch him, I think that boy's superb. And he's scoring goals up here, and if he can score goals, Motherwell will score goals with Rangers. It's the same league.
He came for Leicester City.
Yeah, I just think sometimes answers staring you in the face, and it's only like a 20 mile down the road, and £3 million not a lot. Same with the boy Neil for Sunderland. Why wait to the summer? It's only another £2 million. Just get rid of Matondo. You're saving that in his wages. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't wait, because sometimes if you do wait, somebody else will come in and take the player away before you say, oh, we wanted him. Just go and get them. And then get other players out when you can, because the league's there if you want it, but you have to make sure you've got enough in the squad to go and get it. You can't be going thinking, maybe we should have brought in that extra striker, maybe we should have brought in that guy because we maybe draw a game or lose a game. You're thinking, if only we could get rid of this or that. And listen, I know somebody said, get rid of Matondo, who too? I'm not sure, but there might be clubs interested in Matondo. If no, then you do a deal with somebody and say, me pay half his wages, you take the other half and stuff like that. There's always clubs looking for players. It's just a deal you want to do. And the boy from Motherwell can play winger, he can, but he can also play through middle. I'm only going with Andy Halliday. He says he trains him every day. He says he can play the flank, play on the right, play on the left, but he can play through middle. But if you score 14, 15 goals in the Scottish League, you can score goals for Rangers. You know, I mean, people were saying we should always take Shankland. We never did. And if he was here at Ibrox, we'd have probably been top of the league because somebody that can score goals. We never took that. Don't make the same mistake with this guy. Don't, because it's hard to get somebody to score goals, Gary. And we had it in Dessers, and we all criticised him. And I still, if he was still here.
Not all of us.
No, not all of us. Me and Ricky probably did. Ricky Morn the two of his, but
he's still shy.
If he was still here, but it might have been Ricky, but he knew how to score goals, and that's what we're missing. That's basically what we're missing.
His record was very padded.
So sometimes just didn't expect to win a title race. I didn't expect to win a title race. None of us did, considering the start of the season we had. But we're in it. So don't let it go to waste. Go and grab it. And we know we've got a bit of cash to spend. I'm not saying go out and spend it well and early, but when there's guys there at not a lot of money, go and get them. If Danny Rowell thinks they can improve or help us take that step forward, because Celtic have brought somebody in, they'll bring somebody else in, Hearts signed Mark Leonard for Birmingham City. In my opinion, he's a better player than the boy Devlin. That's just me. Mark Leonard's a great player. He was at Rangers as a kid. We let him go. But I seen him at Northampton. I seen him at Birmingham. Superb midfielder. Very good signing for Hearts. So they're signing players as well. So we don't want to be left behind. I know we've signed 3, but go and get another couple just to make sure we've got enough in the squad to take us that step forward. Because I don't want to be left coming in the season short because we missed out on 1 or 2 guys.
No, I'd agree. I mean, there's a bit of balance, I suppose. We've spent £10 million in these 3 as well, so you've got to be careful. We've spent £3 million loaning out Scott Wilson, £4 million for Chuck Wani, and another £3 million for the left back. So we can't say whatever happens, even if we weren't to sign them deals, you can't say they've not backed them in the transfer window. £10 million in the January transfer window is way beyond what we've probably spent in a number of years. But Ricky, not names. I don't want names. Right? I don't want just if you were to pick 2 positions. And I mean, what style of player, what type of player, what age profile, what areas of the park would you think would make that difference between us finishing top 3 or winning the league?
I agree with Kerr because I think the good thing about Massinisse from Motherwell is he's a hybrid player. So and I think that's what Rowe wants. So it's a no-brainer because he can play across the front 3. So I know you said no names, but I'm on about the type of player. The type of player I'm on about the type of player he is. We always ignore you anyway when you come up with these daft rules, like you're in the office at work and we need to listen to your shitey rules. We're the bosses here. Anyway, so no, listen, a hybrid player across the front 3, I think is what we need. Would be fantastic, and it's no easy to find. I can imagine the recruitment team that roll knocking on the door, going, "Okay, I want a Ronaldo type that plays left wing, right wing, striker."
I've not shot Ricky off there. By the way, that's
no bother, Danny.
No.
And then a number 6 as well. A number 6 for the team as well would be the 2 positions for me, because I think we're covered in the other positions, Gary. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is, I think we're in a very, very lucky position because I actually think I saw a journalist going on about if McGregor got injured, they were on about the players that were injured for Hearts with Shankland and Devlin, and then they were speaking about if McGregor gets injured for Celtic. They always say that, But what they were speaking about with Rangers, and I totally agree, we're really lucky because the star of our show is the manager. We've hit gold with our manager. He's the star of our show. So we don't actually have a player that you would look at in our team and think if he gets injured, we're going to be in huge trouble. We're used to Suter being injured, Sterling being injured. We're actually a team now, which gives me confidence for the run-in for the title race, because I don't think we've got. I think that Rowe can. He's like he sprays magic beans, man. He can turn water into wine, basically, and that's what he's did with the squad to get us to this point. And I think that will continue to the end of the season. So I agree with Kerr. I think the squad needs another 2 players, but I'm very confident with Rowe as the manager that even with what he's got, he's done amazing so far. And I think with the players that are coming in, the quality levels are going up. And if he can keep doing that and the window closes and we get 5 in with the players that have went out so far, another 2 or 3 out, I think that'll be, for us, Gary, a fantastic window. And I'm very happy that Dessers is not a striker now, because if we were going for the title with him as our striker, I'd have no confidence that we would get it over the line. But with Rowe as the manager and these players, I've got confidence that we can get it over the line.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's fine, Alan. I'll let him go. I'll let it go. Then again, I can always just cut him off if it annoys me too much. So Scott, you're probably much the same. You've talked about an attacking threat as well, and the number 6. I think the challenge is it's about creating enough in it. We've not created enough over the course of the season. Jamie's never going to bang in lots of goals. We will score. Miovski's a natural goal scorer, although he's looked pretty patchy since he came. But it's about creating enough options so if Gassama's not playing well or Moore's not playing well, somebody else can come off the bench and do. I think what we're not looking necessarily to do is just bring in different players that are going to take other players' position as such. It's more about just make sure there's enough in the squad to supplement us, but with guys like Scott Wilson being that added bit of magic dust that can score and create and be in the same wavelength as Jamie or Asgard, whatever it may be. I take it on that basis, you probably think the same, similar 2 players similar positions and they can help dictate the game. Defence, we've had 6 clean sheets in the last 9, I think. So we don't lose a lot of goals.
No, we don't, Gary. I mean, it wouldn't bother me putting in a centre back. I still think we can improve that area. Giga's been good at times. Suter's been, well, I don't know if he's staying or not at the end of the season. And the start is come next season. We're going to have to really, we got a kind of full defence away back because they're on loan and guys out of contract. So we don't know who's going to be next season. So signing somebody centre back or whatever might do us for next season as well. But it wouldn't bother me if another centre back come in. But we need another striker, Gary. Number 6. I mean, that boy we signed is supposed to be kind of player, can't he? So I don't really know, but midfield, maybe a 6 and 8 would help as well, to be fair. But up top, we just need somebody that can put the ball in it, to be honest with you, because we are creating chances. We've went for just getting through games and winning games and getting over the line. But the last few games, we've created a lot of chances. Especially at Pataudry, we created a lot of chances and only scored 2. Saying it should have been 3, but we only scored 2. But we're creating so many chances. If it's just somebody, and I mentioned Dessers, not saying it if he was here or whatever, just somebody that was just scoring goals. And I thought Mios would have done that, but for some reason, he's not been doing it consistently. Is it a lack of games, or he's coming on, and it's quite difficult to come on as a sub and change a game. It used to be these guys that we call super subs come on and score and stuff like that, but football's kind of changed now. But we just need somebody, I don't know, it can just know where the goal is. That's how I mentioned the boy from Motherwell, because it's not a lot of money, and he's got, you can look at see the goals you scored this season. It's not you're buying somebody, it's like he scored 12 goals 2 seasons ago and he's only scored 2 goals this season. You're buying somebody that said they scored goals this season. So go and sign somebody when somebody's hot, and if it doesn't work out, it's only £3 million. We spent more in Danilo, who we're trying to get off. Do you know what I mean?
You made me think there. So when we won the league, 155 a couple of years ago, the reason we won the league is we brought in Roof and Itten at the same time to supplement with Morelos and Defoe, I think, wasn't it? So with the 4 strikers there that gave you, so when one wasn't scoring, you could bring on Cedric Itten against Motherwell, score the goals, or bring on Roof to get the goal. So there is an argument. I know everybody talks about Danilo needs to go before we bring a striker in. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. One other option could make that little bit of difference, that thing that just gets you over the line. I'm going to stick with you, Scott, for Ricky's insubordination, right? So I'll stick with you, Scott. I'll bring him in between now and the end of the episode. Now, so we've got a big game. Let's go talk about the game on Saturday. Before I do it, right, there's a big game over the road in Tynecastle, right? So Hearts are obviously, first on the table plays against our joint second on Sunday. What do you want for that game? What's your preference? So Hearts win, Celtic win, draw. Do you have any real feelings either way? Do you care?
All say is, as long as Celtic don't win, I don't care what way the result goes.
Good, I'm glad of that. Another Rangers player that says, I look for a Celtic win. Ricky, any change you can speak now?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I want Hearts to win. I want Hearts, and I've been getting a little bit still. No, I wouldn't say stick. There's been a good debate, I think, all week on X. I nailed my colours to the mast early about 10 days ago, and I've been debating it ever since with fans. For me, I think Hearts 15 games is a lot of games. Like thinking that Hearts are going to win 15 games, you're living in cuckoo land, right? And I would rather leave it in our hands. I think that we've got them coming up at Ibrox. If we don't win that game, we don't deserve to win the league. It's as simple as that. Hearts have beat us twice this season. If they beat us a third time and they go 9 points ahead of us, then listen, brilliant. Go and win the championship, Hearts. It would be great for Scottish football. We want to win the league, but if you're good enough to beat us 3 times in the season and you beat Celtic 3 times in the season, then go and get your title because you just deserve it. But for me, I think with Martin O'Neill, Big Joe Biden back in the dugout for Celtic, I think that he just does the basics. You know, he is a little bit like Walter Smith when he came back, that old statesman. He just gets the best out of their players. You've got to be honest, mate. He is what he says on the tin. He keeps things. He's got young coaches around him, Fotheram and Maloney, and Celtic's not going to drop many points. They're just they're going to grind out results the same as we are. They're going to beat teams 1-0. They're going to score 94th minute winners. They're going to get referees' decisions. They're never sending off in Europe. Isn't it amazing how many red cards they've had in Europe?
Did you see Maeda getting booked yesterday? I was shocked at that. I don't think he knew what to do with himself.
Mate, it's how many red cards did it?
Yeah, actually asked what's that card.
What's that thing you're holding at me?
Exactly. What's that you're chucking at me? Is that a new contract? Is that a deal to go to Wolfsburg? So no, but it's wild how they get red cards in Europe and no in Scotland. But that's another podcast. Let's keep the conspiracy theories for another day, mate. But for me, that's the result that I want. I think Celtic's not going to drop many points, so you need Hearts to take 3 off of them. I'd be very happy to come out of this weekend with us 3 points ahead of Celtic and still 6 points behind Hearts. I think we need to start looking at that goal difference and start scoring a few goals as well, because it could be that tight at the end of the season. So we need to be taking that into consideration. Games in that now, it could be the helicopter, could be in the air, mate. It could be one of them again. So that's, for me, that's the best scenario for me out of this weekend.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with you. My preference would always be Hearts win over Celtic, no matter what the situation is. And if the worst comes to the worst, I'd take a draw. I think that's... but I certainly don't want to let them get... I think some people said in the comments, let them get any momentum, because they, at the end of the day, they have got as strong a squad as us, if not stronger. And I've got experience, and Martin O'Neill's got experience to win the league.
Yeah, that's it, Gary.
It's not giving me any encouragement.
They've got the players that have been there and done it. They are the team that's capable of going on a 12-game winning run with him in charge. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
We're the team. We're the team at the top of the form league, and we need to keep that going. But if you look at it, I still think, I know Hearts fans are going to go mental. I still think it's going to be between us and Celtic, realistically, when you get to the split. I think Hearts is an elastic band that's been pulled to its absolute maximum, and it's snapped now with the players getting injured. I know Derek McInnes is nodding away, getting angry in the corner there, man. Better give him a snicker bar to calm him down.
I know. Let's move to the Dundee game. The one that be slating Derek there, Scott, for you. So we'll move on to the Dundee game. So we need to do the business, Scott, on Sunday at 3:00. The interesting thing is we're both playing at the same time, which makes it quite interesting when you're at the game. As I said to you earlier on, Rangers have brought out this kind of marketing campaign today to bring the noise at Ibrox, which I thought was really good. Get the 50,000 back there, get the crowd going, get the atmosphere going, and bring it back, because we've said so many times this season, the atmosphere's been depressing for everybody involved. So I think if you can get that on side with the power of the players, the confidence they're developing, we should really be able to start getting push on even further, hopefully, against Dundee.
I think we will win on Sunday, Gary. And bonus week, this time of season,
we need more than that. We need to get more than that. I'm talking about the whole club.
I know you do want more than that. I mean, to be honest with you, if the fans, in my opinion, we're in a title race, so the fans should be going, but it's up to the individual if they want to go or no. But they should be. You don't want fans turning up when it's against Hearts, because that's a big one, and it's like you think we really need to win this. You want them to go for now, because we're in a title race we didn't expect to be in. That should be enough to get you to go, considering where we were and where we are now. But every game, I'm not looking at performances. I'm just looking at getting 3 points.
Yeah.
Because there's not many games left. You can't really drop any. You can't really look at performances. All you can look at is getting over the line, like 3 points, maybe the next one. Because at the end of the season, when you win the league, nobody looks back and says, "Oh, they were shite in game 60. They were shite in game 28 and game 29." But how did they win the league? You just want to make sure you get the points and move on. And that's what Danny Rill's been doing. Yeah, we need to start scoring more goals, and because it goes down to goal difference. But if first and foremost, you need to get the 3 points and just go to the next game because we have got a tough set of fixtures coming up. But you just look at Dundee, concentrate Dundee. Once that's over, you look at the next one. And as I'll say, Ricky said there, it's two teams involved. Hearts are going to go to the end, I'm afraid. Hearts will go to the end. They've went this far when they bubble burst, and they're going to go to the end just for the fact that we'll probably drop points. They'll probably drop points, and so will Hearts. But they've got a 6-point lead, so that takes it down to maybe 14 games left. So they're going to go to the end no matter what.
You just couldn't leave it, Ricky. You just couldn't leave it. But I suppose what I was thinking about there was, 2 years ago when we played Ross County and we were about top of the league, went joint top. I remember Philip Clement was a manager, and the place was buzzing. The stadium was buzzing. We were trying to get that extra goal. That's what I'd love to see, that when we go on Sunday again. That adrenaline rush which we've not had, because we are in a title race. I'm not necessarily talking about the numbers of people. I'm talking about that kind of buzz of adrenaline.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get that, Gary. I think you will see that on Sunday. I think it was smart from the club. I think it was the right time because I think there has been apathy that's a hangover from the start of the season. When I was at the Motherwell game, the atmosphere was all right, but it was more the Union Bears. It was actually the Motherwell fans were pretty good. I was surprised with them. They made a good atmosphere on the day, but I think that it's a double-edged sword because Rangers fans that way react well to forced fun on like you have to sing, you have to do that, you know. I don't think we're that sort of club, mate. I think it's just a organic way, natural way happens. But I think Roll deserves it. I think it will happen automatically because I think it'll be a full house on Sunday for a start. I don't expect there to be any empty seats in the stadium, and that was starting to happen anyway. They're like, okay, it might be a bit late just before kickoff, but I think the stadium was starting to get full again. So I expect that on Sunday, and it's going. I mean, listen, you know what's going to happen if Hearts score against Celtic, the place is going to erupt and go crazy. Anyway, it's going to be one of their days, you know. So hopefully Hearts can get an early goal, and then that gets Ibrox going as well. And then if we're playing well, we've got new players. I don't expect Chucky to start, but I think Olsen will definitely start on the right, and I think he has to come into the team. So that's going to be exciting as well. So it's all there for the team, but we just need to I think it'll be basically the same team that played on Thursday night. Obviously, Tavernier will come in at right back, and Olsen will come in on the right wing, and that'll be your team for sure. Yeah. I'm not sure who will play on the left. I agree with Kerr. I don't think any of them can complain, whoever's on the bench. I would probably start with Moore on the left. I agree. I'll probably go Moore, Shermity. Same up front. Who are you going to start? Are you starting Shermity or are you starting Miovski? Because it's one of those games that you could get a lot of chances. So it's an interesting one there as well. It'll be interesting to see. I think Shermity's got his games. You have to pick him. But Dundee at Ibrox, you could probably, there's a case for starting Miovski with Olsen because I think he's a better finisher if you do create the chances. So I think that'll be an interesting one. And obviously we've got Scott Fry, who'll be cooking up the set pieces as we speak in the big cauldron. Man, he's got another. So we start every game 2-0 up now, mate. That's just the way we are, you know. And so Brig Fernandez and that, and so it's going to be exciting. It's exciting as a fan. It's good to have Rangers back, Gary. You know, you look at the pods we were doing under Russell Martin, and it was like, Jesus, I need to speak about Rangers again and stuff like that. So the apathy's gone now. Like we've got a manager who's gave us our club back, and we are in a title race. It's exciting. It's game by game. I still believe we've just came off life support. It's no like come off life support. Let's go for a sprint. Let's run 100 meters. It's case of we've came off life support. Just calm, game by game. Let's see what happens at Tynecastle. Get the win against Dundee, and then it's exciting going into next week. A bigger European away game against Porto, and then it's good to be back involved, Gary, towards the end of the season because there's nothing worse when you're 10 points behind Celtic and it's like, Jesus, you just know. I mean, if Celtic were 10 points ahead of Rangers, the league would be done now. So at least we've got that back and we need to get better and we will get better. But we are in the title race and that's exciting, mate.
Yeah, I think in terms of team, listening to what you're saying, I probably would do the same. I probably bring Tav back for Aaron's because it's a game you want to attack and Tav is better delivery and better potential there. Scott Olsen in front of him, obviously on the right side. Like you, Moore or Gassama both will play at some point in the game. Whoever starts, it probably doesn't matter. They'll replace each other. I do think Miovski's a good shout actually for Sunday because one, I'd keep Chermiti for the Porto game, but also I think Miovski in and around the box is probably where we're going to have a lot of the ball. Was more likely to get goals. So I think I would agree with you and go with that team, Scott. Have you got any other views on that team?
No, I agree with two years. I think that's the way he goes. It's just interesting to see how he goes. I'm not sure. I've got a feeling he's going to start the new boy.
For who?
I don't know, Gary, but I've got a feeling maybe want to chuck him in just to get him games because Hibs away is going to be hard and so is Motherwell. Motherwell's going to be a big say in this title race because Motherwell could take points off the 3 years because they have already, I think. So I think they were going to have a big say. So I think getting him fit and ready for Motherwell and Dundee away, he's not got a lot of time. So put him against Dundee.
But you kind of say don't know. You've got to take someone.
If it was me, I would take Asgard.
Asgard's too creative. Asgard's more creative. I'd go Diamante, probably rest him.
You could play Dio for a forward. You could play Dio for a forward.
Honestly, no wonder you support Hearts, man. That's a honking shout, man.
If I was to, I can see the point in playing from the start and getting an hour under his belt. And if I was to do that, I'd probably take Diamandi and rest him.
Diamandi, you've got to rest Diamandi.
Porto, I'm talking about Porto on Thursday night as well. And you've not got a big enough squad not to play Diamandi not them again anyway. So
I know, but
maybe there's some sense.
Oh, on Sunday, you maybe want him to be ready for that. That'll be a tough game because then, no matter how well or how bad they're playing, it's always difficult going to Easter Road. Because they're a bit like Aberdeen. It's if they beat us, then they're happy. Do you know what I mean? Their fans is this kid on? I think there's a kid on rivalry there when it's not, but and then you've got Motherwell, which is going to be difficult. So
I think all the games are going to be difficult. I mean, and all the teams can give you a challenge, and that's
Gary, and I think you have to introduce them sooner rather than later. And I think Dee's a perfect game to bring him in. So maybe we'll leave out Deal, but Deal scored last night. He's on a good run of form. Does he maybe leave Raskin out then? I don't know, but personally, I would go with Asgard myself.
It's good to
I would go Asgard.
You'd take Asgard.
I know I would keep Asgard in the team. I think he's the one player that's on form with Diamandi. Well, no way are you taking them out of the team. I agree with resting players and stuff, but I think they had a rest last week with the cup game, so they were off on Saturday. None of them played. So for me, there's no way Asgard came off the bench, but they've been rested. I think you need to play your strongest team this part. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be a tough game. Like, I don't think we're going to just roll up against Dundee. I think you're getting to that point in the season where the mentality starts to come back in. We've been under the radar and we've just sort of like climbed up the league to get to where we are. But now it's interesting to see now we're in this position if we can keep getting the wins and keep putting that pressure on, and hopefully we can do that, Gary. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
So before we do a score prediction, which I'm going to come to you both for, so I've seen Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. It's always brilliant when you get viewers from across the world. So thank you for joining us. We are coming to the end of the pod, sorry. So if you just joined us now, you've missed us for the last hour, but you can catch us. You can re-listen, watch us on YouTube. So we'll come to score predictions then for the Dundee game. We'll come to you first, Ricky.
I'm going to say 3-0. Fernandez, Scott Fry, as I said, we're 2-0 up already, so we'll get one goal during the game, and that will be, I will say, Miovski, and I'm going to say Shermiti, 3-0.
3-0, Shermiti, Fernandez, and Miovski. Scott?
I was going to go with 3-0 as well, but I'll going to go 2-0 then, Gary. I'll go with, I think Fernandez will score, but also I think Skov Olsen will score.
Fernandez, Skov Olsen, right? I will go.
Hope so.
I'll go 4-0 then. I'll go 4-0. So I think Skov Olsen will score as well. I think Tavernier will score his 100th league goal for Rangers on Sunday because it's probably against Dundee is a probably good time to do it. And Miovski and you've got to go Fernandez, aren't you? Fernandez or Raskin with a header, one or two. Whatever one it could be either, depending on the set piece.
I heard Russell Martin, Danny Rule the day saying he wasn't happy all night when Butland was making saves because he still feels we're giving away too many chances.
That's good.
I'm actually quite happy he says that because it means he's not resting his laurels. He's still wanting more for the defence and the midfield, not to give any chances away. So I was actually quite happy when I heard him saying that, I have to say.
I think we should give a shout out to Butland because he did have 3 massive saves last night, especially the one just before half time. His kicking's still all over the place.
His kicking and the one he dives under the ball was a hat.
His kicking is awful, man. It's like you've got a massive striker up there and you kick it right back to them every time. It's so frustrating, but shot stopping, the guy's outstanding and he does make massive saves. And this season, we're keeping these clean sheets, but he's a massive part of that. The save just before half time was outstanding.
That was a really good save, so anyway, we have came to the end of the pod for tonight. I think that's enough. I heard Ricky's alarm going off. It's past his bedtime.
One more thing. What about?
Are you at it tonight?
Hair dye? Did you see Gerard's hair dye? Did you see Gerard's hair when he dyed it, man? Did you not see it?
What was on TNT or something?
Yeah, he's on. You know these Amazon? Have you seen these Amazon booby? They're like booby trap parcels you can leave at your door because people steal the parcels and you can leave these booby traps at your door and they explode all over you. The cover.
Was it like the Joker? No, the Joker one of the Batman movies that came out. bright orange.
Yeah, it looks like he's opened one of them, man. And the hair dye, total scouse job, man. It was like, come on, Gerard, man. You're still representing Rangers. You need to get that hairpiece sorted out.
Yes. So if you've not seen it yet, people go back and watch that on the TNT, get us on YouTube, get a clip and see how bad his hair is, and we can discuss that on Monday evening. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hope you all have a good Friday evening. We will be back on Monday to discuss the Dundee game, look at the Porto game, and really delve into transfer, because hopefully there'll be some proper links, some proper things happening, and we can get even more excited about the next couple of months to come. So thanks everybody for watching. Enjoy your Friday evening and weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye now.